wealth gap. Get to this generational wealth, bet that. We gon' lift off like a jetpack. Time to tune in, not just speaking real facts. Right here is everything you need. This ain't no get rich quick thing. Create your own economy. Cause we ahead of the crypto curve. Yeah. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve. Yeah. Learn from the queen of crypto, your host, Naja Roberts, leading people out of financial slavery through Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means it could possibly be you. I am your host, Naja Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. I don't just do this show to change the way you think about money, but to make you change the way you look at money and everything else around you because it absolutely matters. Today is Thursday, April 27th, 2023. And what a great day it is always. You know, they always say if you are looking up and you are looking out, it is a great day. And so it is absolutely a great day. And to several cryptopians who share this birthday today, I want to say happy birthday to Kavette Kane, Inna Hader, Antoinette Das, Cherie Ponsel, and Brittany Johnson. To each and every one of you, I wish you a happy birthday today. I hope that your day today has a whole lot of love, a whole lot of love, a whole lot of love. And I hope that you get what your heart desires today. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to get a shout out on your birthday, please do me a favor and send me a text message to 424-317-7373. Again, that number is 424-317-7373. And if you are an office out there that is listening and you are in the Los Angeles area, you have an opportunity to get lunch on KBLA. You just have to log into the app or on the computer at KBLA 1580, and you can click on Office of the Day or Office of the Week, and you can get signed up to get in the running to get your free lunch from Taco Pete. So I had somebody to call and ask me if that was still going. So it absolutely is, and I'd like to see someone win. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what is going on in the cryptocurrency space? I venture to say that there is a war on crypto. It's going on, and there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Of course, you know that the Security and Exchange Commission is trying to crack down on the cryptocurrency space, and in some instances, is absolutely a good thing. But our chairman, Gary Gensler from the SEC, has actually been at the forefront of the United States cryptocurrency crackdown. And some surfacing news, which is big news, ladies and gentlemen, has just hit the scene. Our chairman, Jerome Powell, who was a professor at Harvard University, some actual video surfaced yesterday of him teaching one of his classes about cryptocurrency and saying that 95% of the cryptocurrencies out there pass uh, the Howey test. And so we talked about what the Howey test was a couple of weeks back. And the Howey test is a test that is utilized to really just help determine whether or not an investment qualifies as an investment contract. If a transaction is found to be an investment contract, it is considered to be a security. And so, what he was saying is contrary to what he has been stating before Congress, before Senate, before the world. And so this is going to be very interesting because he says that that amount of cryptocurrencies have actually passed the Howey test and are not considered a security, but they're going after exchanges right now and everybody else claiming that they have violated security laws. So this is some of the biggest news this year in the cryptocurrency space, and the surfacing of that video is getting ready to be quite interesting. We will see how they change this up and change their words and maybe have to retract some of the indictments that they've just handed down. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, this is ahead of the crypto curve on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, I'm your girl Naja Roberts, and I am here to tell you about an important event that I have coming up, and that is the Ledger and Me 123. If you've been listening to anything I've been saying for the last 2 years, I have been saying that custody your own keys and holding your own Bitcoin in your own cold storage wallet is the best remedy against scam or things like FTX or anything else out there that could suck up and steal your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency. And this is a ledger. This is what it looks like. It's the size of your thumb. It comes in a box from Ledger, and we're going to help you take your Bitcoin off the exchange and put it into your own private wallet. If you're interested in attending this course, your name and your face will not be shown. It will be an anonymous call, and we're going to help you walk through setting up your ledger step by step, because we are going to make sure that you get the best customer service and that you're setting it up and that you understand what you're doing and that you're comfortable with moving your Bitcoin from one place on the blockchain to the next place on the blockchain. And we're also going to talk about how you store your seed words, because that's critically important. Your Bitcoin is not stored on this device, so you've got to come to the actual Ledger and Me 123 to really understand what you need to do to secure your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency for not just your future, but for the future generations to come. And I look forward to seeing you there. Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, Hugh and Sandra, thank you for tuning in. We are at the end of one of our commercials on the radio today, and we'll get going with this thing talking about a topic that everybody is asking. Is it property? Is it a commodity? Is it all right? Welcome forward. So, as we get into this cryptocurrency conversation, specifically around Bitcoin today, because we've got a lot of questions as to what type of cryptocurrency Bitcoin is, if it's even a cryptocurrency, and We'll just kind of get into some conversation. I've had someone else ask me if they can get involved in a Bitcoin IRA and what I think about it. So today is a great day for us to sort of break some of those things down. And so the cryptocurrency quote for the day says, the resilience of Bitcoin is unmatched as it has withstood countless attacks from governments, regulators, even hackers, yet it continues to thrive. And that comes from Arif Nassim. And he is someone that is outwardly speaking about Bitcoin and the possibilities and the greatness that it can do to our communities and for our community. So, when we talk about Bitcoin, like people say, what is it? Is it money? Is it property? Is it a commodity? Like, what is it? And what does this talk about securities? And as we just heard, securities can be a problem because it allows for different types of regulation, different taxes, different things that would prevent the regular everyday person from actually having, holding, controlling, and all of those things as it relates to being a security. There's different laws and regulations that have to be adhered by in order for people to possess it or purchase it and those sorts of things. And most of the time, it leaves us little people out of the equations because you have to be, in some cases, a qualified investor, and you have to show massive liquidity. You have to show, just all these types of things that a lot of us regular, everyday, common folk don't have. And so we're not able to participate in a lot of the different financial instruments that have allowed people to gain wealth in this country. And so with Bitcoin, the reason why a lot of us are fighting so hard to keep this in the hands of the everyday person, because for the first time in history, we're able to participate in something that does not care about your social, economic, political clout. It is just about having access to the internet. That's it. That is all. It is not a moral, and I'm not talking about immoral. Let's not confuse the two. A moral means it doesn't care about right or wrong, it doesn't care about good or bad. And so it's autonomous. All of us can actually participate in it, no matter what political party you come from, what race you are, what sexual preference you have, what you identify with, all of those, none of that matters. It is independent of that. And so Bitcoin is a topic that actually stirs a passion in a way that few other topics do in the financial system right now. And a lot of you don't see it, but the arguments are going on, and the arguments are pretty in depth because for me, I see the way that they're trying to cut our community out of being able to access Bitcoin specifically. They don't really care if we get involved in distractions. So they're going to allow distractions to happen. They're going to allow you to lose money in other types of ways. But with things that actually matter, they're really buckling down and trying to make sure that they get rid of the on ramps and the off ramps because they need individuals to stay utilizing the systems that have been in place. That's just the bottom line. And so perhaps other than people that get in arguments about CrossFit and veganism and things like that, Bitcoin is a massive topic in the financial space right now. And Bitcoin is increasingly coming under attack from government and media. And it is unfortunate to see those of us that are passionate defenders of Bitcoin really get deemed incorrect in the broader sense. And so we're going to cut down on today some of the hype and really just kind of understand what Bitcoin is or what it should be or mean to you. Okay. And so, if I can get us to really understand that, yes, it's a digital money, and I guess I am going to contradict myself by saying it's a money, definitely, that you can utilize everywhere. But I need us to start looking at it first and foremost as independent property. Property is something that you own that no one else has access to unless you give it to them. And actually, this property derives its monetary value from being exactly that, property. Bitcoin can be owned not because it's just money, but because it is property. Property takes precedence, and really it's semantics. And so property can mean a various amounts of different things. And generally, the type of property is that we utilize as it relates to Bitcoin is social or an economic system or order or broadly a political belief. And when we say political belief, I'm not talking about Democratic or Republican. It is about freedom and the ability for us to control our own finances. So if I was to pick a political party, it would be the self sovereignty party. And so independent property is actually ambiguous, and everybody knows that. So just realize that we're talking about the ability for us to control our own destiny. And so, just sort of like a sailor, and some of you may be aware of maritime laws. When you're so far out in the water, there is no one to really govern you. However, there is no legal structure or construct for people that are out in the ocean, like far out in the ocean. If there's something that's going on, it just depends on the part of the water and who will deal with it. But if there's you're in a part of the water where there is no type of law, then pretty much to each his own. You can do what you want to do, and I shouldn't say you can do what you want to do, but you are not really governed by the United States if you're so far out in the water or any other jurisdiction. And so the nature of Bitcoin remains almost the same, yet its property type again is independent, and we hold it right now because there are no real laws and regulations in this country around Bitcoin. And that's what some of the big fight is right now. And it's not just for Bitcoin, it's for all the other cryptocurrencies. And so you can understand what the big woo-ha is right now. There's no laws and regulations. However, they're going in and taking people to jail and indicting people for actually selling the thing that they have not given any type of clarity on. And so it makes it kind of scary. And that's why you're going to continue to hear different companies that are saying, you know what, we may just back up out of the United States. And, it's some of them need to leave. And I'll just say because fees and different things that they do to individuals that are not understanding how they are being raped, robbed, and pillaged. So some of them need to leave the United States, but those that are doing good and really giving access to regular, everyday people, not Wall Street, not the billionaires out there. It is time for little people to be able to have a fair chance. And so I like this network because it gives us a fair chance because math is the math. It is for everyone. If everything that's out there should be for everyone, it should not be classified for individuals that can qualify based on the amount of money they have, based on the amount of properties they have. And so that's why we like Bitcoin so much. And that's why we're really fighting so much to keep Bitcoin keep Bitcoin accessible to everyday people. So contextualizing Bitcoin as property is what I would like to say. So critics are very useful at a starting point where they're saying, that property cannot exist outside of the state. It is the creation of it. You can't just make a new property type pop up. And we actually say not only can't we did. And I shouldn't say we. Satoshi Nakamoto is the person that created Bitcoin. We don't know if it's a he, she, they, whoever. They created this property type, and this property type can be, and money, ladies and gentlemen, again, can be anything that someone is willing to trade with you for goods and services. And so this is very important for you to remember as things start to change, as money starts to change. For those of you that have been watching and doing your research, again, not trusting what I say, verify, because that's what I say for all of us to do. But in the month of March, it has now been documented that the Chinese yuan is being utilized around the world more than the United States dollar. Again, don't trust, verify. But just a few years ago, the use of the US dollar around the world was about 83%, and the Chinese yuan was very little. It was just over 0%. And now we're at 48% for the yuan and 46% for the United States dollar, which means they have not only caught up, but they have surpassed the use of the yuan around the world. And so as we look at these macro things, ladies and gentlemen, understand whether you feel it right now or not, some things are happening, things are changing, and we've got to really stop being skeptics and really pay attention, because the math is the math. If you go from 80% of something to in a few months being half and half with somebody that wasn't even in the running a couple of months ago, there is some problems going on in the background. And so in order to look to maintain some of the value that we have, you've got to look at diversification of a whole lot of different things in a whole lot of different ways than you've looked at in the past. And I get it. People say, I don't know what to do. And a lot of people, when they don't know what to do, they do nothing. And unfortunately, that is going to cause a lot of pain in our community. But I want you to know that an illusion is this thing called Bitcoin is not an illusion. Having different type of property or a diversified portfolio is not an illusion. You have really got to grab a hold and understand, things are changing. And irrefutably and universally, the consensus is out that we are going to possess nothing at all if we don't figure out how to make sure that we have all of our eggs scattered across different asset classes. And what we're holding is really, really important today. It's really important tomorrow. And just understanding that this property that I'm talking about called Bitcoin, the code is, in our opinion, it is a consensus. It's not law. It's a consensus. It's a group of people all around the world saying, hey, this works. Hey, this feels safe. Hey, can I trade this? Can we use this as money instead of that which has taken advantage of us? And so, be it as it may, the law, the state, or critic, it is free to interpret this consent however intangible you see fit. But I will tell you that Bitcoin right now is a great narrative based on what we're seeing in the macro. Again, it's going to take us a little bit of time to feel it right here at home. But if the United States does not get on top of their game, we're going to be late to the party. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports, we will continue this conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Simplify the night and simply say it's like, oh, we're going to learn about Bitcoin. But it's so much bigger than that. The blackwallstreet.com was created by you and Hill Harper. Why?
Well, first of all, the money leaves our community right now in about 7 hours. And Hill and I recognize that if we don't do something in this new digital space, that the money is going to leave within 6 to 7 seconds.
I think one of the biggest surprises is just to see how many people, as you stated, here in the U.S. don't have access to just internet. Just basic things that we take for granted. And so I need to go back and rethink, look at and evaluate all these cities I just left and really see what blockchain programs we need to bring to make sure they get the internet.
It's expensive to be poor. Now, we can actually change that if we think about how powerful our spending is and how we use our dollars. And in particular, how we use our digital dollars. No. So I'm going to give it back to Naja Roberts, who is going to break down the reason why we need to use, and particularly in our community, we need to use cryptocurrency as a means for building wealth and as a tool
just
for
watch
building
it,
wealth.
see what it does. But the only way you lose in Bitcoin is when you sell your Satoshis. Because I bought Bitcoin one time at the height, it was like $17,000. Then it slammed down to 4,000. And it stayed 4,000 for a painful year or so. And I'm telling you, it's painful because I felt like I lost that money. But now,
and you actually even have a camp to teach kids how to be financially literate in this new crypto world. So that's great. You could speak to us like those children. Yeah, because that's what we need.
Absolutely.
Let's start very basic. What is cryptocurrency? And then also with Walmart deciding that they're going to have their own. I mean, how does it have value if somebody can just pop up and decide, hey, we're going to have a crypto now?
You know what? The biggest thing that we all need to know is that money can be anything that someone is willing to accept.
Most importantly, I'm here today to support Naja and to say that we are honored and humbled to have her on our station. I feel like we're doing a public service by educating, by enlightening, by empowering our people. I want to wish her and Hill all the best on this 41-city tour that they're taking across the country, but I didn't want to miss walking across the street today to say hello to my friend Hill Harper and to tell Naja how proud of her we are for being a part of our station every day.
Kind of disgruntled with how financial services was working for our community specifically.
Hello, I'm your girl Naja Roberts, and I am here to tell you about an important event that I have coming up, and that is the Ledger and Me 123. If you've been listening to anything I've been saying for the last 2 years, I have been saying that custody your own keys and holding your own Bitcoin in your own cold storage wallet is the best remedy against scam or things like FTX or anything else out there that could suck up and steal your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency. And this is a ledger. This is what it looks like. It's the size of your thumb. It comes in a box from Ledger, and we're going to help you take your Bitcoin off the exchange and put it into your own private wallet. If you're interested in attending this course, your name and your face will not be shown. It will be an anonymous call, and we're going to help you walk through setting up your ledger step by step, because we are going to make sure that you get the best customer service and that you're setting it up and that you understand what you're doing and that you're comfortable with moving your Bitcoin from one place on the blockchain to the next place on the blockchain. And we're also going to talk about how you store your seed words, because that's critically important. Your Bitcoin is not stored on this device, so you've got to come to the actual Ledger and Me 123 to really understand what you need to do to secure your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency for not just your future, but for the future generations to come. And I look forward to seeing you there. Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, welcome back to you all that are online. I can't say welcome back on the radio because we have to say welcome forward if you haven't noticed, because we say we're not going backwards for anything and we don't black down. So yeah, but we're at the end of our commercial. So we are getting on right now. All right, welcome forward, welcome forward. So some of you are working and participating in different individual retirement accounts. Some of you are involved in IRAs. Some of you are involved in 401ks. And I've been asked to really break down the reason why I do not suggest 401ks. And we'll do that one day. But today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin IRAs because some individuals would like to add Bitcoin to their portfolio as it relates to their IRAs. And an IRA stands for an individual retirement account. And so you can do this with or without being employed on a job. There are some different tax advantage retirement savings accounts that you can participate in, to which you contribute either pre or after tax money, which are supposed to grow either in tax deferred status or tax free. And again, you have to get with a financial advisor to talk about those different programs and what actually works best for you. But the question came to me asking about Bitcoin IRAs specifically. And so one of the first things I am going to say that I suggest that you find a Bitcoin IRA company that allows you to keep your private keys. Now, how does that work? You've got to make sure that they're not taking your Bitcoin and you don't have access to your private keys. That's the bottom line. And there are not many of them. However, because some people don't care if they have their private keys or not, I just went in to try to find a couple of different companies that people could actually use and to find out what the best Bitcoin IRA companies are for 2023. Because I know a lot of you are listening at work and you're trying to figure out how you can make your dollar work for you as opposed to you working for it all the time. And if you remain on that job, it's because you want to and you like it, not because you have to. And so it is our job as individuals giving information. I'm not a financial advisor anymore on purpose, but I want everyone to know what's actually out there. And if you are a really good investor, and this is for the individuals that are pretty seasoned at investing, I would say for the best investor experience, you could go to a company called Coin IRA, COIN IRA, and they have Bitcoin IRAs. For the best security, in my opinion, is Bit IRA, BIT IRA. And then if you're looking for the best rates and the best fees, I found a company called iTrust Capital. And for the best digital asset assurance, Bitcoin IRA. Bitcoin IRA. And then for the best self-directed investments, equity trusts. And again, you may have a financial advisor that can really dig into these companies and see exactly what they offer and how they work. But I just think that those are some of the best ones for you to look at. And so traditionally, individual retirement accounts are a great way to provide future financial security. However, as the global markets, as I am stating, are becoming increasingly volatile, some investors are looking to diversify their IRAs with alternative assets. So maybe you have a traditional IRA, but now you want to include Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This will allow you to do it because Bitcoin is digital rather than actual tangible assets. Other cryptocurrencies are digital, not tangible. These IRAs require IRAs, I'm just making sure everybody's understanding, require specialized management. They also need greater protection and it's going to require that sensitive data. Remember, I want you to keep your own keys. So if you're calling an IRA company and they're saying you've got to give your Bitcoin over, would you lose control of it? I'm not sure that that's something that I would be willing to do. In fact, let me just say I'm not sure. I will not give my Bitcoin over if I have to get rid of my keys or give someone all the ownership of my cryptocurrency. But it takes deep expertise in cryptocurrency trading to make these things really work. So I researched nearly a dozen and chose the best ones that I could find based on expertise, security, experience, fees, and all of those things. Because again, at the end of the day, it matters. We work hard. All of us work hard, whether we're on a job right now listening, or whether we're an entrepreneur trying to figure out what we need to do. You need to look at each and every one of these companies, find out the pros and cons, read the reviews, maybe even send me an email at Ask Naja Roberts after you've done your due diligence. Do yours first, because I'm not going to give you any financial advice because I don't want you saying, hey, Naja told me to do this. But I want everybody to do their due diligence. And I'm just going to tell you really quickly why I chose a couple of them. Especially iTrust Capital, it makes it easy for both the novice and the expert investors to start a Bitcoin IRA with expert consultants, and they're very transparent on their pricing. And I made it a choice because they had the best rates and fees, as I stated. With Bitcoin IRA, it's a full service Bitcoin IRA provider offering 24/7 trading, and they have secure cold storage for your digital assets. And so that's important. And they have 700 million of insurance protection. That's really important. Bitcoin IRA offers Bitcoin IRAs, dollar for dollar insurance coverage for digital assets. And again, do your due diligence. They have true offline cold storage and private keys, which is what I like. And then equity trusts. They help you manage a self-directed IRA. They've been in the game for 45 years. Of course, Bitcoin's only been around 14 years. And so they get a top spot for me just based on their track record. And Coin IRA provides some education on the process. And I like it because it really spelled out some things where the other platforms act as though you're well versed, but they provide education. Coin IRA does. So when we come forward, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, I'm your girl Naja Roberts, and I am here to tell you about an important event that I have coming up, and that is the Ledger and Me 123. If you've been listening to anything I've been saying for the last 2 years, I have been saying that custody your own keys and holding your own Bitcoin in your own cold storage wallet is the best remedy against scam or things like FTX or anything else out there that could suck up and steal your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency. And this is a ledger. This is what it looks like. It's the size of your thumb. It comes in a box from Ledger, and we're going to help you take your Bitcoin off the exchange and put it into your own private wallet. If you're interested in attending this course, your name and your face will not be shown. It will be an anonymous call, and we're going to help you walk through setting up your ledger step by step, because we are going to make sure that you get the best customer service and that you're setting it up and that you understand what you're doing and that you're comfortable with moving your Bitcoin from one place on the blockchain to the next place on the blockchain. And we're also going to talk about how you store your seed words, because that's critically important. Your Bitcoin is not stored on this device, so you've got to come to the actual Ledger and Me 123 to really understand what you need to do to secure your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency for not just your future, but for the future generations to come. And I look forward to seeing you there. Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Of cryptocurrencies today. And as we look at the market cap, the global market cap, ladies and gentlemen, it is growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. So we are at 1.2 trillion with a T dollars that are currently in the cryptocurrency space. Now, why is that important? At the beginning of this year, we were under a trillion, and now we're at 1.2 and growing. And what we know is that people are starting to pull monies from the bank, as you are starting to see. And I don't know if you remember, but a couple of months ago, I told you that First Republic would be the next bank to experience some issues based on the numbers I was looking at. And sure enough, yesterday, First Republic started having some issues. It just got real quiet the last 2 or 3 weeks, even 4 weeks. It just got quiet. And then I said, this is the calm before the storm. And sure enough, here we go with this first one. So their stock dropped yesterday. They're laying off employees, and there are more things to come. So if you're banking with First Republic, go take a look, read, look for yourself. You're not going to get the real numbers, because the thing about banking is they don't have to actually share exactly what's going on behind closed doors. And when they do share it, they're able to make up their own reports, and they're able to use or take the data that they want to play out the narrative that they want to play out to the public. And unfortunately, that's been a big problem. And that's why we like Bitcoin, because it's transparent. You can look at it. The numbers are the numbers. And you don't have to keep saying, you know what? I see this report, but the math is not mathing. And so First Republic is on its way out of here, because it doesn't look like anybody is going to bail it out. And unfortunately, they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars of investors' funds. And so take a look. And I don't want to say investors, I'm going to say depositors' funds. But you all will see sooner than later what happens with First Republic. And there's more banks coming. This is just not it's not over. It looks quiet, but it's not. And so what we do see right now with Bitcoin is it has gone back up in price. It is at $29,600. It's down in the last hour, 0.48%. In the last 24 hours, it's up 5.63%. In the last 7 days, it's up 4.7%. Ethereum is at $1,919. In the last hour, it's down 0.27%, and it's up in the last 24 hours, 4.28%. And in the last 7 days, it's down 1.10%. And when I looked at this market earlier today, I just saw, again, every time Bitcoin does some substantial move, so do some of these other cryptocurrencies, but a lot of them are in the red. And for the last 7 days, they're down a substantial amount based on, just what they were doing last week when everybody was touting that all of these other cryptocurrencies were going to continue to rise in value and do much better than what Bitcoin was doing. And it's just really not the case. But again, we'll see what happens in this market, because this is unprecedented what's happening. All of the exchanges that are thinking about leaving, or all of the exchanges that are being deemed with these different lawsuits, but also Coinbase going after the SEC and saying enough is enough. You've got to give us some regulation so that we know how to tread in these waters. But it also is going to give clarity to you as well, the individuals that are utilizing it. You'll know what to do and what not to do and all of those things. And it's really important that we do those, that we learn or know or have clarity, so that we're not doing anything gray area or anything incorrect, because we don't have time to make mistakes. We don't have time to, get tax levied or anything else. We just want to know what to do as citizens that are doing the right thing, not trying to evade our taxes. We will pay our taxes, our fair share, but just our fair share and no penny more. And so as I'm getting involved in getting back into the property aspects of things, again, holding my Bitcoin and figuring out how to utilize Bitcoin in the real estate space as well. This is getting very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because there are so many ways that we can actually parlay this Bitcoin, this real estate, buying Bitcoin with real estate, buying real estate and tokenizing it and utilizing it for everybody to be able to take advantage. We're just looking at shopping malls and different things across the United States that Black folks and brown folks are starting to just grab up. And it's just so exciting to see us moving in this way with something that we realize that nobody can ever take from us, burn down, not pay out, any of those things. Because when you are self-sovereign and when you hold the actual asset and you control it, it's so gravy. So gravy, ladies and gentlemen. So when we come forward, we're going to get into some of the events that are still yet to come this week and tell you what's coming forward in May 2023 as it relates to educational courses that you can get involved in to learn about the space. So ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we'll jump into what cryptocurrency events and different things are going on that you may want to be involved in. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Simplify the night and simply say it's like, we're going to learn about Bitcoin, but it's so much bigger than that. The blackwallstreet.com was created by you and Hill Harper. Why?
Well, first of all, the money leaves our community right now in about 7 hours. And Hill and I recognize that if we don't do something in this new digital space, that the money is going to leave within 6 to 7 seconds.
I think one of the biggest surprises is just to see how many people, as you stated, here in the U.S. don't have access to just internet. just basic things that we take for granted. And so I need to go back and rethink, look at and evaluate all these cities I just left, and really see what blockchain programs we need to bring to make sure they get the internet.
It's expensive to be poor. Now, we can actually change that if we think about how powerful our spending is and how we use our dollars. And in particular, how we use our digital dollars. No. So I'm going to give it back to Naja Roberts, who is going to break down the reason why we need to use, and particularly in our community, we need to use cryptocurrency as a means for building wealth and as a tool
just
for
watch
building
it,
wealth.
see what it does. But the only way you lose in Bitcoin is when you sell your Satoshis. Because I bought Bitcoin one time at the height, it was like $17,000. Then it slammed down to 4,000. And it stayed 4,000 for a painful year or so. And I'm telling you, it's painful because I felt like I lost that money. But now,
and you actually even have a camp to teach kids how to be financially literate in this new crypto world. So that's great. You could speak to us like those children. Yeah, because that's what we need.
Absolutely.
Let's start very basic. What is cryptocurrency? And then also with Walmart deciding that they're going to have their own. I mean, how does it have value if somebody can just pop up and decide, hey, we're going to have a crypto now?
You know what? The biggest thing that we all need to know is that money can be anything that someone is willing to accept.
Most importantly, I'm here today to support Naja and to say that we are honored and humbled to have her on our station. I feel like we're doing a public service by educating, by enlightening, by empowering our people. I want to wish her and Hill all the best on this 41-city tour that they're taking across the country, but I didn't want to miss walking across the street today to say hello to my friend Hill Harper and to tell Naja how proud of her we are for being a part of our station every day.
Kind of disgruntled with how financial services was working for our community specifically. All right, welcome forward. So as you all know, we have an event coming up this weekend. A friend of mine at a nonprofit organization called Ways. She's in Los Angeles. She's having the business grind out. And I cannot express to you how important it is during these times that you start to think about other means of income. You need to have at least 7 streams of income. And some of us have got a lot of work to do, especially those of us that are still working. I know if you're retired, you can't necessarily have 7 streams of income because you don't want to be working that hard. For those of us that have the ability to do so, there are ways that you can bring in income without having to stress a whole lot. A job can be one of them. I don't want anyone to go and quit their job to jump into a business right now. That takes some structure, that takes some planning and things of that sort. But we can definitely assist you in that. But the business grind out that is happening this weekend can actually lead you in the right direction. So you're going to hear from a bunch of professionals that can really walk you through some of the steps that you need to take to really start owning and controlling your life. And so with that, tomorrow we are going to have Kedron Johnson on via telephone. She's going to be coming and talking to us about why she did the business grind out and what it means to our community specifically. And so she's going to do that. And then we are going to actually this weekend be talking to you all about the launch of, and you have to watch my social media, but the launch of a real estate opportunity for our community all across the United States to actually have funding from the first female federally chartered bank in the nation. Whoop, whoop. Benicia Poole Watson. And we have access to capital and really just trying to make sure that self-sovereignty is where we sit as a community and stop sitting by and watching other people gentrify our community. I really feel as though we are going to be the ones to gentrify our own communities. And so for what that's worth, we'll talk about that a little bit later because that's something that Nipsey and I were going to work on as it relates to tokenization of buildings. And so I'm excited to be really stepping into that manifestation all these years later. So we're going to have a Ledger and Me 123, as we know, in the month of May, as well as a Crypto 101. And we'll announce those things to you. Please continue to dollar cost average. We are making way for the DL Hughley Show, and I want to thank each and every one of you for rocking with me here on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you.
You're listening to Naja Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. Please follow her on all social media platforms at Naja Roberts. No underscores, no dots, no numbers, just Naja Roberts. Let's close the wealth gap. It's our turn. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Learn or get left behind. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve.